Good morning, you guys. Good morning, and welcome. Welcome to the Good News Sunday Show. My name is Sonia McCullough Lockridge, and I am your host. And today we are talking about the places that Abram journeyed on his journey. And so we've been talking about Israel, where Israel is located on the map of the world, and where Egypt is located on the map of the world, because we need a better understanding of the travels of the biblical characters within the text. So today we're talking about Abram, and we're talking about the 17 places that he journeyed on his journey. Now, in Genesis 12, the Bible switches from the creation of man to the story about this one man and his family. And this one man's name is Abram, and he is our father of faith. And his lineage is Abram. He fathered Isaac, and then Isaac fathered Jacob. And Jacob, the Lord renamed Israel. Now, the places that Abram traveled are of Chehalis, I think I said that right, Haran, Damascus, Shechem, Bethel, Egypt, Bethel, Hebron, Dan, Hobah, Salem, Hebron, Ger, Beersheba, Moriah, and Beersheba, and Hebron again. Now we will notice from this list of 17 places that Abraham traveled on his journey when the Lord told him to go to a land that I will tell you about, and he didn't tell him exactly where he was going, but he directed him to a land that he did not know. We will notice on this journey that he visited some places twice. There are some places on this list that Abram touched his foot to the soil on more than one occasion. And those places are, let's look at the list again so we can figure them out. Bethel is one of the places. Looks like he traveled to Bethel at least 2 times. Beersheba is another one of those places. It looks like he traveled to Beersheba at least 2 times. And Hebron is another one of those places. It looks like he traveled to Hebron more than once as well. So his journey ends in Hebron. And the interesting thing is that we no doubt when we read about the many places that Abraham traveled, that we have thoughts to our travels. It's just when you read about someone else, you quite naturally think about yourself. And so some places we have to go to twice. That may cause us to think that some lessons we don't get the first time and we have to repeat that lesson. So maybe we have to go to that particular place more than on one occasion. But Abraham, on the journey in which the Lord placed him on, traveled to 3 places twice. And we have noted those 3 places today. And in those travels, he fathered Isaac. In those travels, he was with his wife, Sarah. In those travels, he met many other people at many of these places. But we also note that there was a travel that Abram made to Egypt. Abram also traveled to Egypt within these journeys. Now, what I need for us to recall and remember is that when Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, the people that bought him took him to Egypt. Okay, so when Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, the people that purchased Joseph took him to Egypt. And it was in Egypt that most of Joseph's story is told, in the land of Egypt. So, in the land of Egypt, when the famine came and Joseph sent for his family traveled from where they were to Egypt. Okay? So, that is how the people of God, the children of Israel, this is how they get to the land of Egypt. Because his brothers sold him into slavery, the slave people took him to Egypt, and there he became the Joseph that we know at the end of the story in the book of Genesis. Okay, so then the famine came, and Joseph sent for his family, okay, which we all know, hopefully, that Joseph's dad was Jacob, who was renamed Israel. So the children of Israel were enslaved in the land of Egypt because Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, and he became prominent in Egypt. So there's a lot of connecting points that we need to make throughout the story. And, all of this for me goes back to Passover and the deliverance of people from slavery in Egypt under Pharaoh. So we really, really need to have a really good, solid understanding of the travels that Abraham makes while he is on his mission, fathering Isaac, and then Isaac fathering Jacob. So, today we have discussed the 17 places that Abraham traveled on his travels. And we've also discussed a little bit about Joseph and how he got to Egypt and how the children of Israel got to Egypt because of the famine. So we have a better understanding, I hope and pray, of Abram's travels. And so next time we record a video, or the next time we talk, we will be looking at the map of Israel and these places therein that we have spoken of today. So let us not forget how the children of Israel came into slavery. It was because their brothers sold Joseph into slavery. And then when the famine came and the brother Joseph was in the land of Egypt, there was no food to eat. He called for them. There is a story of how it all works out, how they're reunited, how this family is reunited. But this is how they end up in Egypt, so they can be delivered 400 years later from slavery. So this is Sonia signing out for the Good News Sunday Show, Keyword Bible Studies, the Daily Keyword, the Gap Prayer Band, and the one and only Jesus.com. Have a blessed day in the Lord. Thank you.